When we're good, who's actually going to still be on the roster? Next on Locked On Jazz.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA Insider. Today's show, we are going to look at a Trends Monday, the last and final one of the year. I had something happen to me this weekend that has me a little more concerned about how good we might be next year than I thought we were going to be. And I had an interesting experience looking at some other teams have done what we've done and what their rosters look like, which leads to the number one question of the day. Who's going to be here when we're good? So, I don't know. But if we just walk through it for a second here and walk through the thought process. By the way, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel's episode is brought to you today. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if their first bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Okay, clearly don't quite know how to start this show. So we're watching Kyle and we're watching Cody and we're watching Bryce and we're watching Blake Hinson and all these guys, and we're wondering, like, how does this matter? What's real? What's not? And I suddenly went online and looked to see 4 years ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder were doing the same thing we were doing. And in a game against us on this date, 4 years ago, they started Xavier Simpson, Jalen Horde, Vic Krejci, Georgios Kaliakis, Isaiah Roby, Melvin Frazier, Lindy Waters III, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. They did not play because they were evidently too good. Theo Maledon, Alexei Pokusevski, and Aaron Wiggins that night. And they also had Darius Baisley, Lou Dort, Derek Favors, Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ty Jerome, Trey Mann, Mike Muscala, Olivia Sarr, and Kendrick Williams on their injured list. Okay, so this is a little bit of for them to, they're calling the pot. That's the pot calling the kettle black this year. Okay, let's just be perfectly honest about it. But what's relevant, other than just pettiness and a $500,000 fine, which I'm sure felt relevant to Ryan, is there's one guy in their game 4 years ago, 3 years before they won a title, that was on their roster on April 6th when they were good. And that was Aaron Wiggins, or in their active players, Aaron Wiggins. And there were only four guys on their roster: Lou Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kendrick Williams, and Aaron Wiggins. So 3 years ago, the Rockets were doing the same thing. Now, the Rockets actually just rolled out kind of who they had. They had KJ Martin, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith, Alfred Şengün, Tari Eason, Josh Christopher, Garba, Boban, DJ Augustine, Frank Kaminsky, and Dawson Nix actually won their last 3 games that season. But even there, the only players left today, 3 years later, on a team that's trying to win a title are Jabari Smith, Alperen Şengün, and Tari Eason. And on their entire roster, the only 4 players that are left from the Houston Rockets 3 years ago are Tari Eason, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith, and Deshaun Tate. So then I went to the Detroit Pistons, who 2 years ago, April 6, 2024, played the Brooklyn Nets. And they started Shemezi Matu, Troy Brown Jr., Marcus Sasser, Jaden Ivey, James Wiseman, Jaron Rhoden, Jalen Noel, Malachi Flynn, Buddy Boeheim, Taj Gibson. Those were the 10 guys that played for them that night. Not a single one is on their roster. So 4 years ago, the Thunder played a game to this date, and 0 players that played that game are still on their roster today. And the Houston Rockets 3 years ago played a game, and 3 players who played in that game are on their roster. And Detroit 2 years ago played a game, literally 2 years to the day, I believe. Yep, 2 years to the day, April 6th, 2024. And 0 players that played are on their roster. Now, of players that were on that roster that mysteriously were unable to play in an April game, right? It's not mysterious. It's been going on forever. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, and Asur Thompson. So they're 4 draft picks. So what do we make of this? So what's interesting to me is if you go to 4 years ago, Oklahoma City has 4 players left on their roster today. And only had 4 players on their roster when they won the title 3 years later. Detroit or Houston, 3 years later, has 4 players on their roster. Detroit, 2 years later, has 4 players on their roster. If you want to back it up to a more comparable circumstance, go to Cleveland and Minnesota, who both made Jaren Jackson-esque trades, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, in 2021. So now this is getting old. They made that, I believe that trade happened in July and August of 2021. Cleveland has 3 players left on their roster. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Dean Wade. And Minnesota has 3 players left on their roster. Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Naz Reid. Pretty interesting. I mean, we're sitting here, rightfully so, because that's what we can do, analyzing these Jazz players of Cody Williams and Kyle Filipowski and Bryce Sensabaugh, and we're looking at these guys, and Bryce Sensabaugh in his last 10 games, he's played 7 of them, scored 23 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 52% and 46% from 3, taking 16 shots a game. It's pretty great. Kyle Filipowski in the last 9 games, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 50% from the floor, only 26% from 3, but taking 15 shots a game. Pretty great. Cody Williams, last 9 games, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 47% from the field, only 10% from 3. Pretty great. Some people are fired up about Elijah Harkless. And yet, if I look at history tells me that within 2 years, we're only going to have 4 guys left on our roster that are on the roster today. That's crazy. Now, we can say, oh, but we're different because where we are. Okay. I mean, because right now, we certainly think that we're opening the year next year with Keyonte, Ace, Lauri, Jaren, and Walker. That's 5. And then, how does John Conchar fit? How does Bryce Sensabaugh fit? How does Kyle Filipowski fit? I've said the whole time, I think Kyle at $3 million is a perfect fit. How long is Kyle willing to be a 5th big? I don't know. His contract kind of doesn't give him a choice here for a little while. What's also interesting is the type of players that are still on the roster. So for Oklahoma City, it's their superstar. Okay, so that's our Jaren. And then it's undrafted Lou Dort, who then is pretty willing to assimilate into a new role. Kendrick Williams, undrafted journeyman, and Aaron Wiggins, late 2nd-round pick. They had a lot of first-round picks in there. Pokusevski, Trey Mann, Theo Maledon, I think he was the 2nd, who didn't make it. Who were not a part of what they got to. A lot of them. Did they not make it because they weren't good enough, or did they not make it because they had personal expectations to be a bigger, larger player because they were a first-round draft pick? They no longer gelled once they added Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and then added Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. I don't know, but it's interesting. Oklahoma City paid their guys early. Detroit, their draft picks made it. That's it. Cade, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Asur Thompson. So number 1 pick, top 10 pick, number 5 pick, and Isaiah Stewart was a mid-first-round pick. Stewart's got a little Lou Dort to him, right? Houston, Alperen Sengun, mid-first-round pick, became their star. Jabari Smith, 3rd pick of the draft, who actually seems to be kind of playing a role. And then Tari Eason, late first-round draft pick, and Jae'Sean Tate, undrafted free agent. Kind of interesting. Cleveland, Jared Allen, cornerstone. Evan Mobley, draft pick star. Our Ace Bailey. Dean Wade, undrafted. Dallas, Ant made it. Jaden McDaniels made it. Naz Reid, undrafted. What's interesting to me here is there's not a lot of Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Bryce Sensabaugh, late first round, early second round picks trying to prove themselves on a young team that gets good. There's Aaron Wiggins, there's Kendrick Williams, there's Deshaun Tate, there's Dean Wade, there's Naz Reid. There's undrafted guys. I don't know. Maybe nothing there, but interesting. Let's talk about it a little more. We'll elaborate on that. Plus, I will admit, I'm bullish on next year. Then I saw something this weekend that made me a little bit kind of a reality check to it. Next on Locked On Jazz. Monday edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by my friends over at Murdoch Chevy. Located in Woods Cross, also located in Logan. And by the way, I believe, unless it was an April Fool's joke, that the Murdochs, I probably should check and make sure. I don't think it was an April Fool's joke. I think the Murdochs might have bought Jody Wilkinson Acura, which is kind of awesome. So congratulations. I do realize that this is anything I read on Instagram recently might be an Instagram, but I think it was like 2 days ago. So I think that's true. I don't know. Maybe that was a big joke and I fell for it. But we'll see. All right. Anyway, now I'm really wondering on that. I'm totally flustered, but I think I'm right on that. I think that Jody Wilkinson joined the Murdoch family, which is a huge deal. Congratulations to the Murdochs for that. I'm pretty certain. The Murdoch Chevy, located in Woods Cross and in Logan, has a bunch of great deals for you right now. So it's truck month. So the 2026 Silverado 1500, the Colorado Silverado HD, all available for you, plus the EV with great incentives, limited great offers. If you're a Costco member, it gets even better. But all sorts of fabulous deals going on for you right now. You might be considering EV with everything that's going on. That would make a lot of sense for you. They also have the Volt right now, and I believe they have the Equinox EV, which is really fabulous as well. So check it all out over at Murdoch Hyundai, Murdoch Chevy, located in Woods Cross and located in Logan. Today's show is also brought to you in part by our friends over at TurboTax. Yep, it's that time of year. It is April 6th right now, so that should grab your attention a little bit. Here's what's going on with our friends over at TurboTax. Right now, it is trying to book an old tax system. Try to book an appointment. It's not convenient. Sit in a waiting room with a stack of papers. You're emailing back and forth. You don't feel comfortable. Okay, that's over because there's a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert. Your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's a relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are handled right. Head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. TurboTax.com/local to find someone near you today. All right, so to the point of 4 guys within 2 years, what does that mean for who we're watching? I don't know. And I don't want to say this is like the Bible or like guaranteed, but it's interesting, right? There's 5 teams recently have tanked or gotten draft picks who then have become very good. 2 of them got very good based on making a trade midway through, which is exactly what we just did, Cleveland and Minnesota. They each had 3 players left within very little time. Oklahoma City, Detroit, and Houston, who just did it by building, have 4 players left. Well, we think we have 5, at least. And then you start Svi Mikhailuk and John Konchar. This does speak to, I would say this. This does speak to that Svi Mikhailuk, John Konchar types are easier to assimilate into a roster as you get better. Kyle Filipowski, Bryce Sensabaugh are trying to prove their value right now. Cody Williams. Bryce is taking 16 shots a night. He's getting 5 next year. Kyle Filipowski is taking 15 shots a night. He might get 5 next year if he's in the rotation. Cody Williams is getting 15 shots a night. He might get 5 next year. He might get 4 next year, and that's how he gets in the rotation. There aren't a lot of shots to go around next year. So can these guys who right now are getting this kind of exposure and developing great skills, and we're seeing them get way better, turn around next year and comfortably adapt their games to that of a team that doesn't need them to take a lot of shots? I mean, this is going to be one of our biggest themes all summer long. I will say this. Everyone I talk to around the organization is far less concerned about this than I am. Okay? I will continue on this. I'm concerned about the shot distribution next year and whether we have enough basketballs. Everyone I've talked to who knows way more than me does not seem particularly concerned about this. So you are welcome to listen to this and be like, okay, well, that's Locke on his little high horse of things he thinks is important that actually isn't important because people who know more than him think it's going to be fine. And they do know more. That's not me being humble. These people I'm talking about know way more about the game and basketball and the team and structure and building teams than I do. I'm still very concerned about it. So I think this is really fascinating. As much as I like Cody and Kyle and Bryce and these guys are doing great stuff, and Isaiah a little while ago, and they're getting so much better. But they're also doing it with a ton of possessions in a role that absolutely does not mimic what they're going to be asked to do if they're on this roster as we move forward. Cody's the one who probably most easily can do it, but you can't shoot 10% from 3. And he's the most expensive. So it's pretty interesting to look at. All right, so I've got high hopes for next year. I think we're really good. I think we have 2 players in the top 35. I think we have 3 players in the top 60. I think we have 4 players in the top 100 with Ace coming at a meteoric level. I think we have a chance to be outstanding. I think we're going to be able to deny the rim, hopefully at a very high level. And if you can keep people off the rim in this league right now, that's kind of the key to defense. We'll talk about that coming up in the weeks ahead. I think if you can deny people, if you can dominate the glass and have an edge in the possession battle, you win a lot of games. And I think we're going to be able to do that. I think we'll be a very good offensive rebounding team and an elite defensive rebounding team, even though Jaren and Lauri are not particularly good rebounders. So maybe that's foolish on my part, but I'm just going pure size. I think offensively we have lots of options and we'll be able to space it during the day. I'm concerned about our ball handling. I'm concerned about our transition speed, and I'm concerned about our possessions. I have a new concern. I watched Denver, San Antonio the other day. It was one of the best games I've seen in the regular season. It was played at such a different level than anything we have done or experienced in the last 3 to 4 years. There's zero chance our guys are ready for that. So, as I think is clear, losing culture conversation is stupid, right? Oklahoma City, Detroit, Houston, Cleveland, Minnesota. Like, the losing culture conversation's ridiculous. But learning to understand the level you have to play to be great in the NBA and to be a great team, and how valuable every one of the 97 or 8 possessions you're going to play that night are. I'll give an example. Bryce Sensabaugh has this habit right now in which he doesn't get a foul call. He gets upset, so he fouls in the backcourt because he's pissed that he didn't get a foul call, and the other team goes to the free throw line. Last night it cost us 3 points. You lose the basketball game because of that. Right now, that's cute. Like, oh, well, like, no one likes it. Everyone's kind of said to Bryce, like, come on, man, hold it together. Don't, like, black out. But like, and we get it, your competitiveness, but like, yeah, if somebody on Denver or San Antonio did that the other night, they lost the game because of it. So I'll be honest, as of right now, and I'll change this opinion, I'm sure, 12 times between now and then. I think we're a 51 or 52 win team. That's kind of where I thought we were going to be all year. So battling for 4, 5, 6. I now think we might be a 48, 47 win team. Because unless there's only 4 or 5 guys left, like who knows? I think we're going to lose 4 or 5 games next year because our guys just haven't grasped it yet. That they haven't experienced the understanding of literally getting back defensively every time. Being precise about your rotations every time. Not getting frustrated for a possession and being like, oh, well, because they just have been able to do that. Now, you can call that losing culture, whatever. That just has to be untaught. But that, to me, is the impact of what we've done for the last 4 years. And maybe this is also why these may be tied together, by the way. This may also be why there are only 3 and 4 players left on every single one of these teams. Right? Detroit's Cade, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Astor Thompson. Okay, those are all their draft picks. They're really good. Houston's Tari Eason, who plays his ass off. Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith, who's really good. And Jayshawn Tate, who is a bulldog. Oklahoma City is Shea, Lou Dort, Kendrick Williams, and Aaron Wiggins. Okay. Your superstar and 3 guys who play incredibly hard every minute. And when I asked Mark Dagnall about what those 3 did to stand out, it was their effort every possession, their focus, their execution of the systems, things of that nature. Does seem to me like the mid-level player disappears here, who isn't entirely got it. And so maybe that's actually maybe I'm talking about the exact same thing twice today. That the impact of losing for 3, 4 years in a row, Oklahoma City 2.5, Detroit 4, Houston 3 or 4, is that too many players on the roster get used to playing in a manner where every possession's not integral to your success. And so you move past them to players who understand that. A Tobias Harris, a Fred VanVleet, a Alex Caruso, a Isaiah Hartenstein. Maybe. Maybe that's actually what this is, the lesson we're learning here. Trends Monday is next on Locked On Jazz. This Monday edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by our good friends over at Quo. Communication systems are vital. You never want to lose a customer. You don't want to have that chance. Once you lose a customer, you're never getting them back. You know that. So missed calls, messy communication, scattered text, all bad. So today's episode is brought to you by Quo, Quo, the smarter way to run your business. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses. It lets your entire team share one business number, so you never miss a call, text, or opportunity. The part you got to like the most about it is everyone lives on one clear thread, calls, texts, voicemails. The whole team sees the conversation, so nothing falls through the cracks. And the AI summaries save serious time by logging calls, highlights, and the next steps automatically. It just makes your business feel more organized and responsive. It makes the season of no missed customers and no missed opportunities. So try Quo for free. Get 20% off your 6 months at Quo. Try Quo for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. Did you know that last night's Jazz game was the largest spread in the history of the NBA? The NBA playoffs are here. Every possession matters. Every matchup is magnified. Every game can swing a series. FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get ready to get into the action. You can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. The app makes it easy to follow the action with player stats, trends, and matchups all in one place. And during the playoffs, that extra insight really matters when you're looking at stars, role players, and key moments. It just makes the entire experience more engaging start to finish. Are you going to bet on who you think is going to take the whole thing right now? Do you put it all in OKC after watching that beatdown yesterday, or is that immaterial to you? Or did you see Denver and Jokic and suddenly say, wait a sec, they went 7 games last year with OKC and they're better now? Who knows? All sorts of fun matchups going on, and there's NBA games going to be played tonight as well. NBA final odds, Oklahoma City is plus 115, San Antonio plus 500, Boston plus 550, Denver plus 1,100. Right now, national championship game tonight, Michigan is a 7.5-point favorite against the Connecticut Huskies. It's all at FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. This is our last and final Trends Monday of the year. I don't know if it's also maybe the least important Trends Monday of the year, if I'm being totally honest. We've done this all year. I really like it. I think it's told us a lot of stuff. It told us when Charlotte gave us kind of an insight to when Charlotte was coming. It told us that Minnesota's having a bunch of weird things all year. It's been very insightful. I do believe in it. I think it tells us something every week, gives you an ability to watch the league a little better. I think it's worthwhile, or I wouldn't do it. The hottest teams in the NBA right now are Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Charlotte, Portland, and Houston. They're all double figures. And then Detroit's plus 12, Atlanta's plus 11, and Boston's plus 10. There's huge, huge margins right now because Memphis, Chicago, Washington, Sacramento, Utah, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Dallas are all not. Orlando is minus 7.6. 21st in the league, and Golden State without Steph was as well. So that's worth noting that Orlando and Miami are both not playing well at all right now and trying to play well. The number one offense in the NBA the last 10 games is Charlotte. It's interesting, actually. San Antonio, then Denver, New York, Houston, Oklahoma City, and Cleveland. Teams that can't score. That's not interesting. It's Brooklyn, Memphis, Minnesota without Ant. Milwaukee, Chicago, Utah, and Golden State. Interesting that Minnesota's in there. Obviously, Ant missed a bunch of those games, so they should be better than that. Number one defense in the NBA is Portland, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Minnesota, San Antonio, Charlotte, and Atlanta. Teams not playing defense include Miami, who's at 127 defensively over the last 10 games. They've had a little 3-point variance, but that's a lot to be that bad. And then Orlando's 22nd in the league. Orlando's in real trouble, frankly. Over the last 2 weeks, which again, we have this weird kind of, as Tom Haberstow is talking about it, A-League versus B-League right now. The best team in the league, San Antonio, then Oklahoma City, then Portland, Charlotte, Atlanta, and Boston. Atlanta's going to be really interesting in the playoffs because they're playing well. Charlotte's offense is the best in the NBA, followed by Denver, Boston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and the Clippers. Teams that are not scoring are Minnesota in the last 6 games is the worst offense in the NBA. That is weird. Minnesota loses in the first round. Things get really interesting there, I would say. Portland's defense is just way better than anybody else in the NBA right now than Oklahoma City, Detroit, Minnesota, Atlanta, San Antonio, and the Clippers. The worst defense in the NBA the last 2 weeks is Utah, Chicago, Sacramento, Washington, Memphis, and Milwaukee. Minnesota gets interesting, but the other one is that the Lakers now, with all their injuries, are kind of who anybody wants. Minnesota's kind of trying to put themselves at 6, but I think the Lakers now tied with Denver. Lakers have Oklahoma City. I would assume they lose. Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. I don't think Phoenix needs to win another game. So the Lakers might be able to get 2, if not 3 of those. Denver has Portland, Memphis, OKC, and the Spurs. OKC and Spurs probably have nothing to play for at that point. So Denver could get to 3. They're tied with the Lakers right now. But the Lakers could very easily lose to Oklahoma City and then win their next 3, Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. Golden State getting a little healthier. Obviously, the Lakers are just not healthy at all. Phoenix might get them, and then we'll try not to. Houston's at 48. I don't think Houston loses again. Phoenix, Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Memphis. So Houston's going to finish at 52. The Lakers very easily can finish at 52. Denver, I think, finishes at 53. So Denver goes to 3. Houston, Lakers, I don't know who has the tiebreaker, but they would be 4-5. And everybody wants to play the Lakers, and then Minnesota's got Denver in the first round. Pretty interesting. That is Locked On Jazz today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for staying with us. We'll continue to pump out content for you. Leaf Tuline's going to take over some right when the season ends for a few days. Then I'll be back at it, kind of carry you probably most of the way to the draft, and then Leaf will do a bunch of stuff. So we'll be here every day for you. Appreciate you. If you want to join the Everydayer Club, get the exclusive insight access, you can do that at lockedonjazz.supercast.com. That's lockedonjazz.supercast.com. You get one-on-one texting with me. You get a daily newsletter every single day about the show. You get access to the merchandise store. You join our Discord channel to be able to interact with the best Jazz fans and have the best Jazz community out there. You get Locked On Jazz ad-free, Locked On Sports Today ad-free. I think you get something else. Leaf Tuline's bonus content. You get extra content from me as well. So that's all there for you at Locked On Jazz. And ton of draft stuff coming. If you want to sign up, that's at $15 a month. Use the promo code MARCH to get you a whole month for free to try it out if you want to. Yeah, still March. March for a month for free to do that. Or you can follow me on socials at DLock09, though I frankly do most of my socials now on either my group chat on Discord or on the one-on-one texting with all the guys and women. So lockedonjazz.supercast.com to join in and be a part of the Locked On Jazz Everydayer Club. Love to have you be a part of that. You can follow me on socials at DLock09. In the meantime, we'll send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked On NBA on YouTube, on audio. Check out Game Night, every game, every night on Locked On NBA.